Now, we're gonna be talking about Dustin Stoltzfus taking on Abusupiyan and Magomedov, and my good friend, Angelo from We Want Picks, in his quick picks video, he was picking Dustin Stoltzfus, which is, I think, a pretty ballsy underdog play, but I've got to go with Abusupiyan Magomedov, but this guy has annoyed me. I'm a little bit upset with this guy, Abusupiyan, man. This guy, I mean, he won his last fight in 2020, end of 2020, and then he just kind of didn't fight. Like, I know he was matched up against a lot of guys that pulled out. Like, most of these fights are not his faults that he pulled out, that they didn't happen. I mean, sorry. But, Magomedov, man, like, this guy really spent his prime of his career between the age of 30 and 32 not fighting. I mean, come on, Abus, man. You can do better than that. Like, it's a little bit of a shame. I feel like if he made his debut about a year and a half ago or a year and a bit ago, he could have made a run by now. He really could have done something at middleweight because let's be honest, let's be open and honest. The middleweight division isn't at its strongest point right now. Like, there's definitely only a few good wins can get you in the top 15, unless your name is Jared Mearshart, poor guy, on a good win streak right now, and he's not ranked. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be picking Abusupiyan Magomedov. This guy's a finisher. This guy's got like 20 finishes in his career. He's also beaten pretty good competition. I mean, it's dicey. It's up and down. Like, he beat a guy that was debuting, and then he beat a guy that was 12-0. But for the most part, he's been fighting guys around his level, or at least guys that he should be fighting at the time. I mean, earlier on to his career, it was a little bit sketchy, but even then, he took on a guy that was 9-2 when he was 7-0. So, yeah, it's what it is. But yeah, 13 wins by KO, 6 wins by submission, so 19 finishes. He's powerful guy on the feet, and I think that Stoltzfus is definitely more of the grappler. He's got a good jiu-jitsu base. I think he's got a brown belt in BJJ, but he does kind of look to use it in his fights. You know, he did beat Dwight Grant in a weird fight. Like, I think he outpointed Grant, but Grant was moving up a weight class in that fight from 170, and even then he wasn't having a good 170 run. And then before that, he lost to Gerald Mearshart, as I was talking about him before. Rodolfo Vieira lost. I don't mind that loss. That is what it is. But he lost to Kyle Dalkaus, which in hindsight hasn't looked that great. Like, I know Kyle Dalkaus had the weird fight with Kevin Holland, but Dalkaus ain't looking amazing right now. I like Abusupiyan Magomedov to win this one. I guess the win over Joe Pyfer now was actually aged really well, and maybe we see the rematch at some point. But I'm big over Abusupiyan Magomedov. This guy's a good fighter. This guy's gonna make something happen at middleweight, even if he spent a year and a half of his prime on the sideline, man. Like, oh, I don't know. There must have been some behind the scenes stuff, but it's still a little bit like, what if, what if he made his UFC debut a year and a half ago? He could have made something. He could have done a run by now, but it is what it is. I think Abusupiyan finishes him on the feet by KO. I genuinely believe that too. So, yeah, give me Magomedov to win inside the distance.